Last October at the Babes Ride Out 4, the girls lined up at the Red Wing Heritage booth for a tintype portrait for the American Lindsay Ross. Fortunately, we don't have to go all the way to California to get our copy. Allison Cordner, a Montreal photographer, has been interested in this photographic process for about 3 years now. Her favorite subject is bikers. A portrait of a woman who is not afraid of a challenge. The history and passion. For as long as she can remember, Allison Cordner has been fascinated by the world of motorcycles. She was young. She would watch with amazement as groups of bikers rode through her neighborhood. She was captivated by the mysterious aura hovering over their heads. Who were these rebels? Maybe they were not rebels, but in the mind of this young blonde girl, they represented freedom and independence. Her parents did not agree. They viewed the bikers as unsavory thugs, and they should not be a topic of interest for a young girl. Of course, what is forbidden can be alluring, and they were an extreme attraction for a young girl dreaming of independence. She was marked by this image of outlaws on 2 wheels, and it remained tenderly embedded in her memories. From digital to tintype. In her 20s, Allison was still in search of herself. After obtaining a degree in contemporary dance at Concordia School of Fine Arts, she did a complete 180. She registered for a business photography course at Dawson College, got married, had 2 beautiful children, both as blonde as herself. Her life was full of intense challenges in both her family life and her photography job, where she specialized in family photography. In 2014, while surfing the web, she happened upon a photograph that caught her attention. It was a monochrome image of a metal plate, a process that she was not familiar with. She did some research on the author of the image, Ed Ross, and discovered the tintype. I immediately wanted to explore this process, but as soon as I found out that the equipment necessary to create this type of photo was not sold in regular large surface stores, it required a little searching, she admitted. I found the right camera online in Modena, Italy. It was not just any camera. It was a handmade and customized by Ghibellini Projects and Corporation. Once equipped, she registered for an intensive course at the Center of Alternative Photography in New York City. She returned to Montreal, but her attempts were not successful. In the digital era, tintype photography was a cumbersome and costly process that needed to be mastered. Knowledge of chemistry, patience, and precision were indispensable elements for anyone who wanted to embark on such an adventure. Faced with these complex techniques, she registered for an advanced course. She left for Papa, West Virginia, to refine her art with Lisa Emile, a talented photographer who once assisted Joni Steinbach, who created the magnificent series Surfside Tintype, a tribute to surfing, the lifestyle, and the people who love to surf. Unfortunately, on the night Allison returned to Montreal, all of the pictures she took during her internship were stolen from her car. It was late, and I was wiped out. I left everything in my car. It was a shame that I lost my beautiful souvenirs, but it could have been worse. My camera was also in the car, but the thieves didn't take it, she said with relief. A little history. Tintype is a monochrome photography printing on a thin sheet of metal covered with lacquer induced by the Adolf Alexander Martin in 1852. The sheet of metal is placed in the equipment, and after a determined exposure time, a collodion emulsion produces a direct positive on the image. It is this unique image that is given to the customer. Contrary to silver printing, there is no negative film. At the time, the solidity and simple process, both quick and inexpensive, seduced traveling photographers and the military of the American Civil War. And what about motorcycles? At 32, this Anglophone's American dream crumbled. I didn't recognize myself anymore in my relationship with my husband or with the world around me. I had become too much of a conformist. I felt as though I had lost my flame, my fuel. She separated from her husband, wandered in circles for a while, and left in search of a lost self. On a February morning in 2015, a morning that started out like all others, she awoke with this very special idea. She wanted to ride a motorcycle. She would not be intimidated by her 4'11" stature. After finishing her morning coffee, she called to register for a course with Montreal Moto Pro. A week later, she discovered that a new branch of the International Women's Biker Network, the LIDAs, was being organized in Montreal. What a coincidence! My stars must be aligned. This is perfect, I told myself. She quickly became part of this emerging community, the Leaders Montreal, as well as organizations such as One Land, Doomsday Machine, and the Moto Social made it easy with their warm welcome. It was during events such as the Ravens Run and the Run that I developed an interest for photography of the motorcycle culture. I brought my camera to almost all of the events that I attended, the new member said proudly. She had a hunch that the tintype would be of interest to bikers. I think that bikers, both men and women, are authentic, real people and have a story to tell. With its contrasts and imperfections, tintype is a medium that relays the sincerity without pretense by adding that obscure touch of specific to bikers. Reveals the one who today rides a Harley 48 1200cc. The photos do not require Photoshop to soften the details. They are, on the contrary, naturally highlighted by the process. This is why many bikers love the tintype. The rough side gives an outlaw feel to those who are photographed, similar to childhood memories when you think of it. And the final page, inspiring women. When I was young, my parents did not have a positive view of my interest in motorcycles, but my grandmother was a biker, you know. She rode at a time when very few women had the audacity to defy proper morals and mount a two-wheeler. I didn't know my grandmother, and not very many souvenirs remain. Actually, that's a bit of an error. I did know my grandmother, my great-grandmother. But anyways, here I go. I continue with the article. I would have loved a photo of her on a bike. A tintype would have been amazing. Photographs are indeed a real treasure, and the tintype can last forever. There are several museums that still have images dating from the 19th century that are in excellent condition. In our era of consumption and disposal, the thought of leaving a photograph for your descendants is very interesting. With this in mind, she was inspired by her grandmother for her next series of photos, a tribute to female bikers. One day I received a call from Sharon Al-Safadi, a woman prominent in the pharmaceutical industry. She requested my photography services. Some professional photographs for work, as well as some personal ones to capture her passions. To my great surprise, she requested a series of photos of herself while kickboxing and another series on her Ducati. Behind her serious businesswoman image was a formidable kickboxing opponent and a fearless biker. I didn't have a motorcycle at the time, and I was captivated yet intimidated by this woman. The day of the session, she made me mount her bike. She saw my interest and encouraged me to follow my dreams. She was an extremely generous person, and meeting her had a great influence on me. It is women such as her and her grandmother that Allison wants to highlight with her tribute project, inspiring women who have proven that anything is possible if you have the will to follow your dreams. This series is a work in progress, and she hopes to exhibit at the end of the upcoming season. Community and experimentation. My next challenge is to increase my presence at events. This year, I attended the Salon de la Moto de Montréal and to meet bikers and offer portraits on site. I adored the direct access to motorcycle culture, and it was very well received. I would love to do it again, and I'm currently looking for an inexpensive enclosed trailer to develop the tintypes on site as well as during external events. Spread the word to your readers. Someone might have a deal for me, she tells me, laughing. But this was not her ultimate challenge. I'm currently exploring ways to transfer the tintype technique onto motorcycle parts. I've started on small parts, but my dream is to eventually use it on gas tanks, for example. That would be amazing and definitely unique. Will she succeed? By examining her journey so far, we can expect that she will brilliantly meet this challenge. Do you want to treat yourself to a unique gift? Allison offers solo or duo photo sessions with or without a motorcycle in her studio in St. Henry. To find out more, visit AllisonCordner.com or go to Facebook at Allison Cordner Vintage.